All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this webinar um, put together by Deep Tech Showcase on behalf of Adlor, where we're going to have the Adlor team present and demonstrate their technology and talk about how AI can cut downtime and close the skills gap, among other things. So I'm just going to let the Adlor team take it away from here.
Yeah, greatly appreciate it, Brian. And we appreciate the opportunity to display and share some of the amazing things that Edlore is doing and share the value that Edlore can truly have for any sort of business or industry that utilizes the product. So Edlore, the Edlore product, what is it? Hopefully those that are tuning into the call today checked out the website. They probably saw some cool 3D and a lot of tech terms, right? So the Edlore product is a multitude of products or a suite of products that can be used in many different ways. And after serving myself, 16 years in the military, I can tell you that when I think about the Edlore product, I think it does have application in almost every single industry there is. And the reason why that's so relevant and important in the state of our technology today, with the changes that are coming from AI and to how it's fitting in or being incorporated into small or large businesses, whether it be workforce reductions or efficiencies in small businesses. There's a way that you can use it positively and provide proficiencies across the board. So, that's what we hope to share with you guys today is who we are, what we do, the team behind it, and the value that it can truly have across any organization. And I think it would be best to first move into introducing the team behind Edlore that's driving the product. As I said, my name is Gavin Rowe. I've spent 16 years as actually a deep sea Navy diver. I've truly seen in the defense space, specifically the Navy, we have done maintenance as an organization the same exact way for 2 decades. And the problems that it's faced, or I've realized, is you're relying on someone that's an expert, that's done it before, to help train the junior personnel or the new people that are coming in, and that presents a problem. And it's not just specific to military; it can be specific to corporations, any sort of platform or organization. You're relying on that knowledge to be passed down. And I'll share a story as we move on throughout this presentation of how that backfired in my case. But I spent 16 years in the military as a Navy diver. I've done maintenance on submarines, aircraft, pulled them off the bottom of the seafloor. I've done a grand suite of things. And when I saw the Edlore product, it was a team that I wanted to be a part of because I knew it was paving the way and changing the way we do business or maintenance across the board. Nick, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute there. Yeah, hi team, or listeners and audience. Nicholas Papillon here. I've got 17 years in technology, last half a decade in mission critical, highly regulated environments, and proud to support Edlore with technical program management.
Mr. Ben Cole.
Hello, I'm Ben Cole, and I'm primarily involved in software engineering regarding the 3D asset pipeline. So I'll be happy to help with any related technical questions.
Is Dr. Destry Grogan?
Hello, yeah, I'm Dr. Destry Grogan. So my background started out in the Army, spent some time in the Air Force as well. So everything from medical to explosives operations during my career. Moved into the government side, did a lot of test and evaluation, chemical and biological defense, working as a microbiologist, and then ended up being the program manager for the Sentinel design phase for the newest ICBM going into the inventory right now. And my last stop in the government was with the Army Futures Command, where I was the director of technology development for the synthetic training environment cross-functional team down in Orlando. Beyond that, now I work out in industry and support business development and bringing technology to the Department of War at this point.
And then we have the president and founder of Edlore, Mr. Javid Fahid.
Yes, hi. Thank you, Gavin. With that, I think we could also go to the next phase, which is basically the agenda for today. My name is Javid Bahid. I'm the founder, president of Edlor. And my background is I'm an electrical engineer academically and master's in robotics and automation, and have been involved in process automation for a good 30 to 40 years, both in DoD or DOW and non-DoD utilities industry. So, Gavin, can I take this from why Edlor was born?
Yeah, certainly.
Okay, so why Edlor was born? In my past life, I was a CEO president of a company called Manufacturing Automation Solutions, and we did mostly process automation for utilities, water and wastewater treatment plants. We built a number of electrical panels, MCC, switchgear, and installed many instruments in the field. And oftentimes, when we wanted to maintain and service these equipments, we were looking for the operations and maintenance manuals, and we couldn't find them. So what we ended up doing, this was late 90s. We used to scan our documentation into PDF and put it in a thumb drive, and we built enclosures, and we would take those and attach those to every instrument that we installed in the field, so that the next time that we wanted to work on it, we used to basically take the laptop and plug into the USB and be able to see the documentation, because most of the times drawings get lost, not documentation get lost. And in the case of let's say utilities, one minute you're working on a flow transmitter, the next minute you're working on an electrical panel, and so on. So you could not really have all the documents with you at all time. So that was basically the why Edlor was born. Edlor was actually born out of necessity to be a repository of documentation on demand whenever you need it. And fast forward to 2016 is when we actually decided that this could be a great product, but now in 2016 you have cloud, so you don't really need to put your documentation in a memory stick and attach it to every device. With that, we started building a platform. So Edlor became a platform for the documentation. And I think with that, I'm going to switch now to Dr. Grogan. Maybe Destra, you could go through Edlor in today's environment, please.
Yep. So next slide. So yeah, the processes for maintenance have upgraded, but the source data hasn't. I mean, that's really the crux of the problem is, do you have the information you need to do that maintenance operation? Troubleshooting a procedure, it's often buried in large manuals. And even then you might not find the right procedure for the actual thing that you're trying to get to. So I use the example of the car operations manual that's in everybody's vehicle. One of the things in there that I always end up having problems with is the garage door opener. I go to that procedure, I finally find it, it's never labeled correctly, but then when I get there, I go through the procedure, and when I turn the page, it lets me know that if I had a different setup, that I needed to go to the different procedure than the one that I just did, which is why doing that procedure 3 or 4 times didn't work. That's what Edlore starts to get, is how do you get to the right procedure for the actual task at hand, not just a procedure in that area, and make sure that you're doing the right work for the right thing. The other thing is senior techs, there's a lot of transition. Knowledge transfer is not happening. It walks out the door. Technician turnover happens. How do you make sure that the next tech has the information on how a system works? Once systems are out in operation, they all wear just a little differently depending on the load and the dynamics of their operating environment. The techs start to see that But when the tech leaves, that knowledge goes with them. This starts to be able to aggregate that data and help there. Um, no, the other thing you can lead to additional damage and maintenance requirements, that result in higher costs and things like that because of those problems. And downtime costs money. And sometimes running the wrong procedure can cost even more money because it results in more downtime. It can even result in additional damage to the actual system that's being maintained. So all of those start to cause problems, and Edlore creates that backbone that helps not only get new techs trained faster and have the reach back to the things they need, but also, allows them to be more efficient in the normal everyday operations that they conduct. Next slide. And so one of the issues that you have is that there's a lot of ways to ingest the data and that the data shows up as you're doing operations. You've got a PDF, 2,000 pages. Putting that onto a tablet and things like that, it helps some ways because it's transportable, but it doesn't help any more in trying to find the actual thing you need. You're still hunting and pecking at those things. Tag text in XML, same thing. Machines do really well at it, but a human reader trying to look through those it doesn't work very well. Defense standards that are out there, the S1000D, same thing. It's not meant to support a technician utilizing those things. It's meant to support just data and data formation. Those things cause problems. And so one of the things that Edlore has, and focused on is that human structured data is the data in a format that's usable by a user and does it give the information that user needs at the time that it needs it. And so that's a key function that this does is make sure the right data is at the right place at the right time. Next slide. And so within the interactive 3D side, so there's a couple different modular capabilities that we have within the system, and it's been designed modular intentionally. The workflow, we can do end-to-end workflow, but there's components of this that support any workflow that's out there. The 3D replicas, the ability to take that 3D capability and understand a fault in a different way, be able to see the parts that are included in that by being able to explode the drawings, being able to utilize that as a real digital twin for the system are all hugely important to how the system operates. The natural language AI capabilities, those allow you to use plain English to get to the right procedure quickly, get warnings early, get additional notes from previous technician work. Oh, go ahead. Oh, sorry.
Gavin, you were not on mute.
Yeah, that was an
Okay.
echo, Destry.
Okay. Yeah, and then the AR guided procedures is once you've got those 3D capabilities and you've got the data set in there, you've got agnostic capability to use tablets, smart glasses, any other means that you want to utilize AR capability to actually be able to bring the system in an AR capacity out to the field and see that dynamic there. Look at the machine, make sure the machine looks the way it's supposed to, make sure when it explodes out, all the parts are there and you're able to actually, do the maintenance that needs to be done. The parts and supply access. So real easy within a 3D blowout to see and identify a part. When you click on it, all the data about that part's available. If you need to purchase that part, you can very easily do a pick list, and you'll see some of this in the live demo. The remote expert support, live video, shared 3D views allow you to bring in someone who has the knowledge needed to get this thing back online and start doing the work that it's supposed to be doing and not creating downtime. And then work order automation is just being able to track what's happening, allows you to get better analytics on both the front end for what's going wrong and on the back end for how it was fixed, how long it was down, and what things are failing over and over that maybe different maintenance methods are going to be needed for those types of equipment. Next slide. So within this,
Go ahead, Destry.
yep. So within this area, so the modular aspect is key, and the 3D side is always that's the part everybody likes to see. But the initial ingest and conversion that we do, we could take any drawings that are out there, any OEM data. The higher the fidelity of that data, the faster the turn time, and the more automated our processes are for turning that data into usable, structured data. And once you have that data, it allows you a lot of different options because you can put it into the Edlore workflow, and now you see the maintenance tasks that go with that. But you can also use it for your digital twins, for your digital engineering, for modeling and simulation events. That data becomes something that's now structured in a way that it can be multi-use. And so that capacity, while it looks like an end state, is actually just the start to the data structuring that happens that allows the workflow to occur as you continue to go down. And that allows you to start to do things like fault trends and supports a variety of maintenance processes, such as, preventative maintenance or condition-based maintenance or other methodologies that may need to be applied and may need to be applied differently across different systems. And then I think we're moving into the demo, Javid.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, worth wrapping in. Destry, I appreciate you sharing all that. So, Edlore's goal wholesomely is to put the best tools, provide the most efficiencies to the end users, whether it be DoD or DoW organizations, businesses, or personal personal people working on their own equipment, whether it be aircraft or anything else. And when you think about Edlore, I would position it as, what does the Edlore product provide? It's reduction in risk, increases in efficiency, right? And preventing mishaps. And if you're a business owner, again, whether it be private sector, government sector, who's not wanting to hit those goals, reduce risk, provide efficiencies, prevent mishaps? It's across the board what's needed in every single organization. And the ROI within the Edlore product is there. So as we move into this demo, I would ask yourself and maybe think of some questions, write them down. What are the problems that you have within your businesses or crafts or trades? And how can this product provide the efficiencies? And we're happy to answer those questions as we move towards the end of the presentation.
Okay, please let me know if you see my screen now.
Yep, we got it.
We do.
Okay. So what I'm actually doing is I am mirroring my tablet, which in this case is a Surface Pro Windows-based with ruggedized CAC card reader. So this could work in any harsh and also Department of Defense or Department of War environment. It's TSA compliant. So what I'm showing you on the screen is actually a product that we provided to the ONREP group, the Underway Replenishment Group at NAVC in Port Hueneme, California. What you're looking at on the screen is really a component of a winch transmission engine from a company called Denison that is no longer in business. And although Navy has probably 300, 400 of these units, these are large units that are still in operation. Whenever that some service people want to maintain these equipment, what you're seeing on the screen is actually what they're using to identify parts and pull things apart and find the NSN numbers, national stock numbers, and also many other things that they need to work on. It's not accurate and it's very difficult to work. What would it be easier if they could use something like this, which is the exact same drawing, and now you can actually explode this into its internal components, turn it around, zoom in, zoom out, and more importantly, identify parts by just clicking on it. So once you click on any part, a window opens up. We refer to it as a fancy box. And it shows you how many quantities you have on this particular subcomponent, what are the NSN numbers, what is the OEM number. Now, information in here is customizable. You can put any information you want. You can even take a picture and or a video and attach it to that particular part. Now, let's say you need this other component. You need these washers here, and you need this bolt here, and so on. So now, as you can see, as I'm clicking on any of these, I'm actually creating a pick list where I can put this in a shopping cart. And if I click on that shopping cart, the system has already created a purchase order for me. Now I can either if I have connectivity to any ERP system or inventory management system, it could automatically go into the system and find out and actually place order. Or it could be saved on on a CSV on your on a tablet, and then you can send that later. So this alone saved OnRep Group from looking for parts tremendously, over 50-60% of the time that they spent on monitoring and servicing equipment. Now, obviously, this is a short amount of time. I don't have, I can't go through everything that it does, but I mean, you can actually turn a camera on and augment this on the actual device where, you could, let me just turn it back on again, where, on a actual device, you can't, you won't be able to open it up, but in a 3D environment, you could open this up and see what's inside that. This tool has also been used for training. It's a great training tool as well, because for remote expert training, you can actually have people sign in, and you would be able to create courses and training courses with the system. You can have individual procedures, step-by-step instructions on how to do things. You can create these procedures in the field or on an admin panel, and you can create procedures that are not necessarily in the manual. So as you can see, the more Edlor is used, the smarter Edlor become, because we are gathering other field data that otherwise it's going to get lost. And, and that field data is what actually feeds into the AI. And that's what now leads us to predictive and preventative type maintenance without even having any kind of IoT sensor on a legacy old device. So this becomes really, really valuable, the amount of data that you're gathering in the field. You have access to latest revision manuals, device drawings, videos and animations. You can take a little video and attach. So everything is about how much data you're gathering in the field, and allowing the AI to be able to ingest those, vectorize those, and be able to answer queries as a result. Alarm codes, safety measures, and also remote expert video chats. So if you're really stuck with all this information and you still can't figure out how to fix something, you can just click on the support. If there are two ways, there is we have the offline version, which is what I'm on the screen right now. So when I click on the support, it says you need network connectivity. It won't do it. But I mean, on the cloud version, the customer can assign remote experts. And once you click on the support, a list opens up, and whoever in a remote location is available, they could click on it, and it becomes like a FaceTime or a video chat. And you can show them what you're doing, and a remote person can guide you to how to fix things quickly and safely. So with that, I'm gonna switch to this, which is our wearable, and I'm gonna put the glasses on. What you're seeing on the screen right now is what I am seeing on the glass that I'm wearing here. Now, the idea behind the glass is not for you to use the glass all the time, but in confined spaces. For example, we were on a test ship at Port Hueneme, and we were going 6 floors down to the sonar room, and you're going down the ladder, and you can't really hold a tablet with you, take it with you. It's better to have something like this. As you go down and as you're looking at the devices, you can actually be able to give verbal commands and be able to get to what you need without, whoops, sorry, I went the wrong way. Without the need to actually have a tablet in your hand to click on what you need. So now I can give this my verbal command. So for example, I need to see what's inside this. This is actual winch engine. I could say this is the winch itself. It's not the engine. But what I can say is explode. And as you can see, it heard my command and it actually is showing me inside. What you see on the screen on the right-hand side is the bill of materials. So if I'm looking for where is the rope guard, it will highlight it for you. Where is the support compensator? Where is the electric brake? Rotate left. So you could see things better. Now, I could say camera. So now with camera turning on, I am actually augmenting this model on the real device. So as I'm walking down, I can see if I can see the winch, deselect, reset, assemble. So as you can see, I could be looking at the actual device. You're looking at my monitor right now. But I mean, imagine that you have the actual device there, and here is my hand, and I'm pointing I'm the expert, and I'm showing you, or you're this field service guy, and you're telling the expert, how do I do this? And now with explode feature, you can actually explode this to its internal components and show them what you should be working on. Or you can say procedure, and you can go through a number of how step-by-step instructions. You could say step one. So as you can see, it's showing you step-by-step instructions. Step two, and so on. So you get the idea. You could have a device, a wearable device that you could give it the wearable commands, and you could actually see all of the documentation, and with the tablet plus plus all the features of Edlore. I also did not go through the AI aspect of it, which is here. So with the back end, so let's say you have the machine. This is actually for the Air Force. It's a CNC machine, and they dump all their documentation for that CNC machine into the system. It automatically vectorizes it, and you could now do the AI queries such as how do I pull the spindle, and and then ask those questions. So what it does, it actually goes through all the documentation, has the LLM, and finds the right answer, and gives that answer to you. And it also points to the pages in the documentation where that information is. One thing which is very important and we've added is the human feedback system. And as this is going through the LLM and finding the answer, if the answer could be better, we have given it the ability to for a human to go in and modify the answer and be able to give it a better answer. So now that, with the hierarchy of approval, becomes part of the system, and the next time that you ask a similar question, LLM would pull up the correct answer. So this is actually going through the documentation right now.
Yeah, and that human in loop feedback is, the state of AI, whether it be a medical grade AI, ragstyle AI, legal grade AI. When it comes down to doing maintenance, when we're asking these fine-tuned specific questions, what is the torque value of this? Or if I'm getting this problem, how do I fix it? The answer needs to be precise and accurate. And obviously, Edlore does its best with the technology, which is it's extremely accurate, but that human in loop system helps dial it in for the specific use case that the end user is applying it to.
Right. So with that, I think if you guys think of any other feature that I need to show, I think actually, there's also the work order management part of it, where you can actually create work orders and assign it to a group, user control, user roles, and admin, access and others. All of those are actually here, and then like a media library of all the documentation and everything that's in the system. So with that,
worth going over, Javid, the air gap servers.
Yes. The other thing that we are working on a Cyber Phase 2 project with Air Force at Warner Robins is an air gapped. Although this is a Marine Corps that I'm showing you, but we're working. We have provided an air gapped AI server where a lot of times on situations there where for example, I was talking that sonar room, there is absolutely no connectivity, so you need to still be able to work with your LLM and query documentation. So that's where our air gapped server comes into play, where we have enough GPU power, enough horsepower on this server to be able to ingest and vectorize documents without needing the cloud or internet. And with that, the Marine Corps became interested in this as well. So right now we're working with the Marine Corps to be able to install our servers on ULVs or JLTVs, so that if they are stuck in an austere situation and something's broken and they need to fix it, to have that LLM capability and that all that information, so that they could get out of an austere situation as quickly as possible. And that's kind of that's what the Edlore server, air gap server, is all about. So with that, let me stop sharing, and I will switch back to Gavin.
Yeah, so that was a very brief amount of time to kind of display the full suite, but to give a recap on the high-level overview of the Edlore product suite, and I think Javid already said it, it's modularized for a reason. Not everybody needs an air gap server. Not everybody's operating in a sensitive TS or classified environment or disconnectivity. So it was planned and executed that way for a reason. The start of the Edlore product suite starts as that digital repository of structured data. And when I said initially, I feel as if this fits almost every industry or profession. I can apply it in many scenarios. We've kind of spoke on DoD, but think about it from a legal perspective or a corporate HR perspective. You've got thousands of documents that control corporate HR, and you've got people there that need to be able to recite these things, or even a call center that needs to be able to recite these things very quickly. How do they get to that end product or end result based on the question that's asked? When you think of the Edlore digital document repository, that is an exact use case. Customer provides question. Hopefully they know it. Maybe they don't. If they don't, they type it in. They get the exact feedback they're looking for and the citation or the source of where it's said. And that's the RAG style AI I spoke to earlier. The accuracy of the AI itself is hard to put a value on in many situations. The maintenance aspect is kind of the second module, where for any maintainer, whether it be Makino or drones, ROVs. We've got this very expensive equipment going out to warfighters or people, in the private sector. But what training is being given to them to work on these multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar pieces of equipment? And I mentioned I had a story. When I was 19 years old, I was the person, that was following the guidance of the subject matter expert at the time that cut the wrong cable in the submarine. It was a $2 million mistake. Despite the cost of what that cable was, the more serious result could have been death. If the cable had power to it, I was in a submerged environment, it could have been death. And it was preventable. All of these things are preventable. How do we do it? We do it through training. We do it through practice, and we do it through giving the best tools to the people doing the work. The maintenance aspect of EDLOR, it provides value across many fronts, whether it be training and prior to the job itself, whether it be standing in front of the equipment, as Javid showed with the wearables, or going through the interactive maintenance procedures, step 1, step 2, step 3 on a tablet or other sort of format. The maintenance aspect as well, the supply chain logistics. How do we prevent aircraft from being down on the flight line due to a few small parts? We prevent it. Every single time a piece of maintenance is done, we know what parts are being used. The EDLOR supply chain logistics module, we can get rid of that red tape of having 20 different people that has to hit approve if granted permission, or it can go through the proper permission processes to the vendor that you have funding with. The 3D enhanced workflows, I think those pretty much speak for themselves. Being able to see something prior to you doing it or as you're staying in front of it, whether it be you by yourself or with that remote expert feature, provides a lot of value. When you look at the professionals that are coming in to service these types of equipment, and I'll use the DoD case, I say professionals, I was a 19-year-old working on billion-dollar submarines. By no means would I classify myself as a professional, but I was trusted to do it. The skill sets are changing. The better we can do to equip and provide the efficiencies of technology to the people actually doing the work, it'll only ensure the longevity of the equipment, the safety of the personnel, and the ROI across the business or organization will obviously come from that. A big part of this too is audits. Audits, how do you track the equipment or the replacement parts or anything that's going on to sensitive devices? The EDLOR product suite provides that. You don't need to fly people down to verify what equipment may or may not have been used for a process. It's maintained and tracked with internal to the system that, if the approval authority is set up in the EDLOR product suite, they have ownership and oversight of that, right? The remote support thing, I see it growing more and more. The Makino machines, Javid, do you know how much those machines typically run?
$6 or $7 million.
$6 or $7 million, and that's just one small example of some very expensive machinery. But anytime something breaks or something happens out of the norm, the normal scheduled maintenance, right? Are the people or is the team equipped to deal with it? That's truly where the EDLOR product can provide a lot of return on investment. Is when something breaks, you need it now. You don't need it a week from now. You don't need it 2 weeks from now. You need it now. Calling in that remote expert, your technician may not be fully up to speed, but you are giving them the tools to succeed in these cases. The air gap technology, AI offline servers, is one we kind of briefly, we only hit it for a few minutes, but the value it provides is substantial. Any of these equipments that require clearance levels or sensitive, not public, being able to interact with your data, whether it be in an AI chat style query or a maintenance style query, provides huge value. As Javid mentioned, connectivity is an issue a lot of times. Being able to have that expert support, whether it be an AI offline server, when you need it, pays for itself at that time. It's a no-brainer for a lot of these industries that are working with that type of equipment. And I think a key point to also mention is it's not typical to read through the National Defense Authorization Acts, but for anybody in these types of industries, I would say it would be beneficial to skim it. If you look at the amount of spending and money being thrown at advancing our technology front, what amount of money is being thrown at maintaining it? It's hard to answer that question. And the concern there is we may have the most technological advanced capabilities and tools, but what happens when they break? That's where truly the Edlore product comes in and can help provide those efficiencies that we've discussed during this call. And I would say for anybody that's listening to this call, consider that. Your $2 million drone, when it breaks, is the person ready to fix it? I think that'll set up any industry or any business to be successful in whatever sort of industry platform they're in. Did you have anything else?
No, with that, I think we could now ask Dr. Grogan, to go over the use case, maybe defense and commercial and supply chain.
Yeah. No, so that's one of the areas that we've been in a lot of different environments at this point in time. The Navy, the Air Force, we've got Marine Corps work right now that we're supporting, and that continues to kind of grow, but it's very fragmented the way that maintenance is done. It's often down at the unit level. There's not a higher level ability to do it on the Department of War side. And so trying to find that right spot to help them help themselves is a continuing effort. And I think that's across the industry as a whole on the maintenance side. And as Gavin alluded to, that's because the signal for revenue and for actual applying funding to support those things just isn't there. And so it's down at the operational level that we're able to help right now. So we're continuing to work that. On the commercial side, it exists as well. So with industry partners working with defense, with industry partners working outside of defense, there's a lot of capability that goes into it, especially as you get that initial data front done. The workflow, that data can flow into any workflow. Our workflow is designed specifically to how we operate and how maintenance operates. But if you've already got a workflow, it's not necessarily do you need to replace. We can just bring in the modules that augment what you're doing to be able to give more capability. It's one of the things that I think Javid showed with the pick list is you can order those supplies, but as we continue to move forward, one of the things that's out there right now is 3D printing. You could be sending that supply list right to a 3D printer to get parts. There's a lot of different capabilities that come out of having that data, and I think that's the most important aspect of the system is really being able to get that data in a way that it can be utilized across the entire organization that's using it, and then it supports the maintenance as well. And I think that's one of the key aspects of it is being able to take your data and be able to understand what you have allows you to do things and make decisions that allow things to move forward. And so you could see in the utilities market, Javi described, the back and forth. There's a lot of large distances there. The energy market has some of the same problems, large distances. I was just reading yesterday where one of the wind farms, the individual would have to drive 200 kilometers out to the site, diagnose the problem, drive back, get the parts, drive back out, fix it, find out that he doesn't have everything because more than one thing was wrong. He'd drive the 200 kilometers again. And so those things are continuing, and those things are things that can be streamlined to make sure when a technician is called, that technician is doing the work we need them to do, not just getting to the site. Manufacturing, like I said, inside the plant, maintenance, being able to 3D print, utilize capabilities that are already there because you've got the data background. And then just the analytics is, are you applying your resources to the things that are actually problems or that are creating efficiency in your operations? And then retail and logistics, same thing. I mean, you could see how the more data and understanding you have as you put it through the workflow, you can adapt that workflow to be able to meet those needs.
On the retail and logistics side with the AutoZone, we also have been talking to AutoZone on all data, and essentially all data is the is the information that the mechanics use to find parts. So what we were talking with them about is putting EDLOR in there, where the mechanic will just take a tablet, look at the VIN number of the car, and look at the engine, and be able to say, okay, here is the part that I need, and right there, click on it, and be able to just go to the AutoZone database and place order for it. So that's really saved a lot of time on searching for parts, searching for part numbers and inventory and so on. The other one was, as I think, Desiree, you mentioned, Nicholas, you may want to just kind of go through the rule of three. And I think Desiree said it best. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we learned that working with City of San Diego. So they had an actual coinage or term for it where they called it a rule of three. So a piece of equipment goes down. First, the technician will go out essentially just to look at it. And he may or may not have signal or access to inventory. So he's going to leave that equipment site to go back to, and this could be football field, this could be miles. And now he's checking inventory, he's looking for documentation, he goes back out, and now he needs expert support. So again, he comes back in to get his manager or supervisor. So they found that on average, the service personnel would go to the equipment site and leave it 3 times to get a work order successfully closed. And with EDLOR, they dropped that down to 1. So it's a 66% efficiency in reducing work hours per work order.
Correct. I think also I can speak on this slide. We've already discussed it. So the idea is that to reduce the amount of time. Again, everything about EDLOR is efficiency and safety. How quickly can you get the maintenance done and leave? So if you can just basically scan something and automatically it finds it, and you can buy it right on the spot, that is tremendous amount of savings in time for the, and also actually ROI for the customer, because the amount of time that they could be doing many other maintenance and service in one day versus just trying to find what parts there are and things like that.
One more valuable point here is the more regulated the industry, the more of an importance there is on document management and version control. This could be everything from safety alerts to new maintenance manual from the OEM of the equipment. So EDLOR does a good job of where you may have locations from New Jersey to San Francisco. EDLOR can make sure that every tech touching that particular make and model is using the latest approved maintenance documentation. And to Destry's point, passively capturing tacit knowledge, which is, that's intellectual property, that's not necessarily in the OEM manual, but this is the way that things are done. So using EDLOR, that information is captured, so as workforce ages or is replaced, that intellectual property stays with the organization.
Yeah, and it also allows you to, over time, that tacit knowledge allows you to actually shape what the maintenance technician's kit looks like. If you've got, 90% of the time what the failure is, then your kits would be equipped to be able to solve those problems rapidly, which allows you to understand that and make sure those supplies are ordered and those supplies are available to the technicians when they need it. And so those things are things that are learned over time that then create downstream efficiencies.
Sure. I think with that, also, the NIST and CMMC compliances are there. I think we are almost at the end. I think if there are any questions that we would like to, we could answer. And Brian, maybe you can.
Sure. So first, I'll just say that if anybody in the audience has any questions, feel free to write in the chat. Some have already, and I can see on my students. Question: if anybody from Edlore wants to take a stab at it, just talk a bit about the competitive landscape. Um, on what gives Edlore a competitive advantage. Is there anything proprietary, that Edlore has over their competitors?
Yeah, I can take that. So one of the things is there's a lot of groups that we don't necessarily compete with because of what we do. We've got a lot of modular capabilities, but one thing that most of the competitors do is they've got niche areas of what we do that they support, not necessarily the entire workflow. And so there are things that look similar, but the one thing that we do have is we've got the patent on some of the AI and some of the translation services that we do. That's a big one that allows us to get that data to the right state to be able to be utilized and be structured for humans. So that's one of the big ones that we've got that kind of differentiates us from others. Others are doing that, but we have the patent for that at this point.
Also worth mentioning, there are others in the space doing things, right? It would be ignorant to think otherwise. That a true differentiator is there's a conglomerate of primes that are doing things that cost billions of dollars. If you're an organization that has that money, that's fantastic. But the value that Edlore can do and provide and rapidly shift, rapidly adjust to truly give the business, the maintainer, the organization what they want is rapid and efficient, meaning it's not going to be that. It's not going to be billions, millions. It's very affordable, very obtainable, and very fast to adapt and incorporate into the everyday routine. And we did have a good question in the chat here, Javid. I think this would be a great one for you. It says, curious if natural language troubleshooting comes in different languages. So I know we've done some testing. Do you want to speak on that?
Yes, Ben, I think this is a good question for you to reply, but the answer is yes. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. Right now, we're focused on English, but this system, the way it's set up, there's no reason why we cannot support additional languages.
In fact, I was in Warner Robins Air Force Base, and
We've
there was
tested it.
what's that?
We've tested it at Warner Robins.
Correct. We actually we all those Makino manuals that I showed you were all in English, and we asked a question. We did a query in German, and the response actually came with the vectorization in German from the English documents. And that was for me itself. I was surprised, but that was amazing that you could put in documentation in different languages, and your queries could be in a totally different language, and the answer still comes out right.
That's great. That's great. Just another question is, if anybody from your team wants to take it, regarding adoption friction, like any technicians like on the floor kind of resisting adopting this platform, or are there any barriers to them using it?
I think I'll take that one, Brian. I appreciate the question. So, there's always going to be barriers, right? And it's what causes the dying of an industry or the failure of a company. It's the failure to adapt. We're seeing it every single day. Our eyes open and we see the news with labor cuts, whether it be Meta or defense contracting or how AI is replacing employees. Any business that is doing the types of things that the Edlore product fits, it's worth looking at how you're going about your everyday operations and seeing where you can provide the efficiencies, right? It's the people that have been doing things the same way mentality. Why change what works? You're in for a rude awakening, right? And it's to put it in a positive spin. Anybody that uses this equipment, if they're trained on it, if they're familiar with it, if they come up through the process learning it, it's going to be an easy transition and easy shift for them to adapt. If it's coming from the top and you're standing in front of the jet and they just hand you a tablet and they say, hey, do this with Edlore, there's probably going to be a little pushback. But the better we can, provide these solutions early on or get them integrated and get them trained up, they will see the value it provides. And I'll throw out a third caveat. If there's something they want changed that provides more value to the specific industry, it's very easy to change. As I mentioned, rapidly flex, change, shift to the organization or business to best fit their need.
Great, thanks. I see another question. Someone asked if it's possible for experienced employees to add tips and tricks they've developed over the years into the maintenance documents.
I could take that. Actually, maybe Nicholas, you could take that. This is your tacit knowledge part of it.
Yeah, so Edlore first and foremost passively captures tacit knowledge. So you've opened a work order as a service personnel. There's an issue. You're going through certain steps. You use this page of the manual, this sub assembly of the 3D model, etc. So this flow. Say you have many devices, and you see that technician A is getting the same repair done in 20 minutes that takes everybody else an hour, and his repairs always hold, or her repairs always hold. So this would be recognized as the system, and can be flagged for potential SOP, to create an SOP out of that. The other is that intentionally, anywhere you can be in a procedure, you can be in the 3D model rendering, click on a part or the sub assembly, and you can, to your point, intentionally add written notes. You can take pictures, screenshots, capture video, and attach and associate those, again, down to the parts level, or as high as, say, location. So yeah, totally possible, and dynamically so. Yeah.
And even I also mentioned that on the AI, that's what I was saying. If the answer from the LLM is not quite right, that's where the human feedback comes in, where you can go in and correct that. So yes, the answer, this is one of the most important part of the Edlore platform and our differentiator over everybody else. It's the addition of that tacit knowledge that increases the amount of data that you're gathering in the field.
Yeah, and an awesome example of that actually, again, came out of our work with City of San Diego in their wastewater treatment facilities. There was an old timer. He figured out, so they have these big generators, and they need to occasionally replace the fuses. So the OEM manual instructs that you drain the oil to expose the fuses, and then you replace with new oil. Well, this guy, he's figured out along the line of his career, he comes up to the generator with a tow motor, puts straps around it, leans it forward to expose the fuses, and now he's saving the cost of the oil and getting the job done again in a fraction of the time. So that's a great example of tacit knowledge that Edlore could capture and the organization can benefit from.
Maybe I can just since I see that we're getting probably over the 1 hour time slot. One thing that I just wanted to mention before we leave is we are at a point that we have several the DoD projects that we've done. We've done cyber phase 2s and so on. We are now going to the next phases. We need to break into the non-DoD further. Our DoD and DoW projects are growing. If there are any ventures or investors that could join this with us, we are also very interested in that aspect of it as well.
Great. So I believe that's it for time. I mean, as you mentioned, we're running a bit short on time. In fact, just slightly over. But I do want to, thank everybody. Thank the Edlore team for the very thorough presentation and the great, answers to the questions, as well as to the audience. In terms of just some housekeeping, we'll send out the recording of this and a follow-up, you know, probably tomorrow or coming days for that. And you know, I don't know if Edlor, you just have anything last thing you want to add, but otherwise we could wrap things up.
Not me.
All
I
right.
don't think so.
Perfect.
Yeah, Brian, we appreciate the opportunity to present. And for any interested party, you know, the emails in the presentation, please reach out. We're happy to discuss working with any organization that we can provide value to. And also worth mentioning, as kind of Javid alluded to, you know, we've been primarily operating in the defense space. We are actively working on our commercial SaaS to make this obtainable for every user, whether it be one person or 100. So, you know, Edlor is truly trying to limit the barriers of entry across the board. And we look forward to an extremely exciting year and open the door to any partnerships that would like to be involved with the company as a whole.
Yeah, and Gavin, if it's worth noting, if anybody's interested in a pilot, you know, we would love to Edlorize your maintenance relationship with a complex piece of equipment, you know, as a you know, way of letting you kind of test drive capability.
Great. Great. Well, thank you so much, everybody. And yeah, if you're interested in, you know, connecting with Edlor, obviously you can reach out to them on your own. But also feel free to reach out to me and I will connect you to them. So again, thanks everybody. Thanks Edlor team again. And thanks for the audience for taking the time to sit in. So
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.